Hello everyone. As you know, I have already completed and made a video on the second chapter of the Indian struggle for independence. The name of the chapter is Civil Rebellions and Tribal Uprising. You can go to my channel and watch the videos. And today I am making a video how to make notes about the chapter number 3, Peasant Movements and Uprising after 1857. Yes, this is the chapter which you can just see. Peasant movement and uprising after 1857. Chapter is not so much important, I think, as I told you earlier. I am also an UPSC aspirant and I have already studied these chapters. This is gonna be my second reading. So, whomsoever watching these videos, I will suggest just go through the book and read, and then just came here that which lines are important, which points are important, and according to this point you can just simply make your notes, and the notes will help you in your state PCS examination as well as UPSC CSC examination. So I am also making notes, and that's why I am making this kind of videos, so that you can also understand that through self study how we can make notes. I think this video will be also helpful for me. So without wasting any time, let's begin it. The chapter name is Peasant Movements and Uprising after 1857, chapter 3. I have already underlined many important lines which I will definitely add in my notes, as you can see. The colonial exploitation of the Indian peasants, colonial economic policies, new land revenue policy system, and the colonial administrative and judicial systems, and the ruin of handicrafts leading to the overcrowding of land, transformed the agrarian structure and impoverished the peasantry. I think this line can be used as an introduction in the mains answer writing. Mains answer writing can be used. Hence, I will definitely add this line in my notes so that I can use it as an intro or conclusion. I think this will create a very good image about my answer. Okay. There is another term who rack rented them and compelled them to pay the illegal dues and perform beggar. Okay, this line can be important. The Raithori areas government itself. Okay, these are not so much important, so I am just scrolling the pages. As you can see, I have taken the picture from the original book which I have read, hence that's why I am sharing, so that you will get, there are multiple PDFs in the available in the Telegram channel, but I will never suggest you to use these kind of books because these are not real. They are not real books. Okay, so these are actually you just can say kind of lots of printing mistake, lot of misunderstanding, lots of faulties are there. So I will never suggest you to use such kind of PDFs which are available in the Telegram channel. Rather than, you can easily buy this book, Indian Struggle for Independence by Bipan Chandra. Very good book, you can study it. Okay, so let's go to the next page. Indigo Revolt. Okay, the revolt we can start. As you can see, the chapter name is Peasant Movements. The most militant and widespread of the peasant movements was the Indigo Revolt of 1859 to 60. Very important line. I have definitely add as a second point in my notes. Indigo Revolt. The indigo planters, really nearly all Europeans, indigo planters. अच्छा 1859 in यानी just after the Great Revolt, the Great Revolt 1857 यानी just within 2 or 3 years. Wow. Compelled the tenants to grow indigo, which they possessed in factories set up in rural is another term of sale areas. From the beginning, indigo was grown under an extremely oppressive system which involved great loss to the cultivators. Yes, that's why they are oppressed in such a way, extremely oppressed system which involves great loss to the cultivators. Okay. This terminology sometimes asked in the UPSC and state PCS. I think that's why I will add this point as a third. The price paid for the indigo plants are far below the market price. Okay, these are the reason why indigo revolt happened. The comment of the Lieutenant Governor of the Bengali was that the root of the whole question is the struggle to make the riots grow indigo revolt without paying them the price of it. Wow. Okay, I don't think so. These are not so much important. As you can see, that low wages, oppression, high rate of taxation, unrest, um, again the loss of Indian local handicraft industries. These are the major reasons behind every revolution, every struggle, every movement. So let's go to the important points. They hired maintenance bands of lathiels. What is the meaning of lathiels? Armed retainers on this persons. We used to. Okay, this can be not so much important. You can definitely add. Okay, in practice, the planters also above the law, with a few exceptions. The magistrate, mostly Europeans, favored the planters whom they dined and haunted regularly. Those few who tried to be fair very soon transformed. 29 planters and the solitary Indian zamindars were appointed as honorary magistrate in 1857, which gave birth to the popular saying, Je Rakhok Sei Bhakhok. This line is very important, even highly popular in Bengal as well. Yes, Xerox Evokov. The terminology comes behind which movement? Indigo Revolt. I will definitely add this as a third point in my notes. Our protector is our devourer. The discontent of indigo growers in Bengal boiled over in the autumn in the 1859 when their case seemed to get governor support. Okay. Hemchandra Kaur misreading an official letter and exceeding his authority, Hemchandra Kaur, Deputy Magistrate of Kalarua, published on 7th August proclamation to policemen that in this dispute, okay, written possession. Okay, these are not so much important, I think. Let's go to the important points. The beginning was made by the, okay, the beginning was made by the riots of Govindapur village in Nodia district. Nodia district, which is now in West Bengal. These are the one of the major district, Nodia, under the leadership of Digambor Vissas and Vishnu Vissas. So, who was the leaders of Great Indigo Revolt? These are the highly important point, I think. Digambor Vissas and Vishnu Vissas. I will definitely add this point in my note as fourth point, fourth line. Ex-employees of the planter, they gave up indigo cultivation, and when 3rd September the planters set a band of 100 Latins to attack their village as counterforce armed with lathis and spears and fought back. Okay, here you can see as they are peasants, so they just while the Britishers are using modern technological weapons and they are simply using spears, slings, lathis, bows and arrows, bricks, well fruit. Well fruit is kind of fruit and earthen pots thrown by yeomen. The Indigo Strikes and disturbances flared up again in the sparring of 1860 and encompassed. Okay, these are not so much important. Here you can see, and the planters are mainly against the Jamindari system. Ultimately, the planters could not withstand with united resistance of the riots, and they gradually began to close their factories. The cultivation of indigo was virtually wiped out from the district of Bengal by the end of 1860. So, who are the leaders? This can be very much important. By the 1860, the whole indigo revolt was wiped out. This can be important. I will add, as there might be certain kinds of question asked in the state PCS that what is the duration of indigo revolt. So I can easily say 1859 to 60. A major reason for the success of indigo revolt was the tremendous initiative, cooperation, organization, discipline of the riots. These can be important. I will add the sixth point. Another was the complete unity among Hindu and Muslim peasants. Yes, unity was among Hindu and Muslim peasants. As the Indigo Revolt mainly occurred in Nadia, which is West Bengal state, now West Bengal. Earlier it was known as just Bengal. So there is a huge, almost equal proportion of Hindu and Muslims, right? So that's why their unity can be observed, Hindu and Muslim peasants. Leadership for the movement was provided by the more well-paid riots and some cases by P.T. Majumdar. The significant feature of the Indigo Logan, the role of the intelligentsia of Bengal, which organized the powerful campaign in support of the rebellious peasantry. Outstanding in this respect was the role of Harish Chandra Mukherjee or H.C. Mukherjee, editor of the Hindu Patriot. Yes, the paper which wrote about the Indigo Revolt is highly important. Who was the editor of Hindu Patriot or which name? This is highly important. I will definitely add as seventh point. For the state PCS point of view, this is also very important. He published regular reports from his correspondents in the rural areas of planters. Bengal might okay. And there is another play, Dinabandhu Mitra, highly popular name in West Bengal, as today also. Play Neel Darpan was to gain great fame for vividly portraying the oppression by the planters. This I will add as an eighth point. This is also important. The intelligentsia role in the Indigo Revolt was to have okay. So let's go to the next page. These are not so much important. These are just basic. As I always told you, I have read these lines already. You can read these lines also while you're first reading, definitely, because this will create a broader understanding about the whole chapter. Yes, and now I am making notes. That's why I am pointing only important lines which are really too much essential for examination point of view as well as state PCS point of view. Large parts of East Bengal were engulfed by agrarian unrest during the 1870s and early 1880s, caused by the efforts of the Jagtuanian to rent beyond okay. Under Act of 1859, they tried to achieve forced eviction and seizure of crops and cattle as the by driving the tenants. Just you can see that these are the operational suppressions done by the Britishers towards the peasants. Yes, dragging tenants into costly litigation. The peasants were no longer in the mood to tolerate such oppression. In May 1873, an agrarian league or combine was formed in Yusufi, Parganas in Pabna district to resist demand of the zamindars. Okay, Yusufi Pargana in Pabna district. Pabna district probably now in Dhaka. League organized mass meeting of peasants. Large crowds of peasants would gather and march through village, frightened the zamindars, and appealed to other peasants to join them. The league organized a rent strike. Okay, these are not so much important as East Bengal. Just as I told earlier, this section is from now in Bangladesh. Yes, and the Nadia, Govindpur, the word which is related to the India revolt, is now in West Bengal. Okay, this base is not so much important from our point of view. Okay, there is another. Yes, the government also promised to undertake legislation to protect the tenants from the worst aspect of Zamindari oppression. Yeah, their blessers, their acts. I don't think so. These are important. Yes, there is another paragraph which is very important. I have already marked this paragraph while my first reading. A large number of young Indian intellectuals supported the peasants' cause. They included Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. As we read earlier, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee wrote Anandamat Upanyas during Sannyasi revolt or Sannyasi rebellion. Yes, in the previous chapter. So now I am remembering the line. So it's okay. It worth to make notes, right? So R.C. Dutt. R.C. Dutt is basically Ramesh Chandra Dutt. In the early 1880, during the discussion of the Bengal Tenancy Bill, okay, I have to read Bengal Tenancy Bill. The Indian Association, led by Surendranath Banerjee, who was leading Indian Association, was leading by Surendranath Banerjee, Anand Mohan Bose, and Dwarkanath Ganguly, campaigned for the rights of tenants and helped from riot unions and organized huge meetings of up to 20,000 peasants in the district in support of the rent bill. Okay, this can be very much important. I will add already I add mm, how much point? Probably 7, right? 8. So now I will add as ninth point. This whole paragraph is very much important about who is leading the important personalities. They are highly important. The whole name, like the Indian Association led by Surendranath Banerjee. I think this will be very much important. Then yes, the middlemen are known as the Jodhars. This is also important. I will definitely add this also. What is Bengal Tenancy Bill? I have to study. Okay. A major agrarian outbreak occurred in the Pune and Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra in 1875. Part of the Raithwari system. Land revenue was settled directly with the peasant, who was also recognized as the owner of this land. Raithwari system, where in the Pune and Ahmednagar district of the Maharashtra. So this will be also important. The Raithwari system, where what is the features of Raithwari system? Whether the peasant was the owner of this land. Like the peasants in the Raithwari areas, the Deccan peasant also found it difficult to pay land revenue without getting into the clutches of the moneylenders and increasingly losing his hand. The other developments occurred at this time during the early the American Civil War had led to rise in the cotton export, which pushed up prices. Okay, this can be another point. Why is cotton exports are pushes? The end of Civil War in 1870 brought about an acute depression in cotton exports and a crash in prices. The ground slipped from under the peasants' feet. Simultaneously, the government raised land revenue by nearly 50%. Wow. The spontaneous protest movement began in December 1874 in Karda village of Sirudtala. Okay, this is the against the Raithwari system. That's why this is important. The Bulotidars village servants. Who are village servants? This is a terminology. That's why this is important. The local manuvanders felt Kalluram and he should not act as an okay. The Bulotidars, barbers, Workman, carpenter, assistant of his order would not serve them. No domestic servant would work in their houses, and then the socially isolated moneylenders decided to run you to the taluk who nobody will agree to. These are their acts towards the uh, towards these moneylenders. Okay, I don't think so. These are very much important. Social boycott. Yes, social boycott. These is a very keywords. I would definitely add in my notes. This single word can be replaced by this whole paragraph, like social boycott. There was a very little violence in the settling of the accounts. One of the moneylenders' instrument, popular reward. There was once again an absence of anti-colonial consciousness. It was therefore possible for the colonial regime to extend them a certain protection against the moneylenders through the Deccan Agriculturists Relief Act. Deccan Agriculturists Relief Act of 1879. Protection against the moneylenders. Wow, these can be important as well. I will add it as 13th point in my notes that what is the major reasons Deccan Agriculturist Relief Act of 1879 and why it is made. That's why this can be an important. Once again, the modern specialist intelligence of Maharashtra supported the PN's case. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, yes, led by Justice Ranade, organized a successful campaign against the peasants. This is also important. As 14th point, I will add, as well as at Pune and Bombay against the land revenue settlement in 1867 under this a number of peons refused to pay the enhanced revenue. This agitation had generated a mentality of resistance among the peasants, which contributed to the rise of peasant protest in 1875. The Sabha, as well as many of the nationalist newspapers, also supported DAR bill. Okay, so again, let's see. There are these points are very much important. Peasant resistance also developed in other parts of the country. Mapilla outbreak were endemic in Malabar. Okay, there are various names of peasant resistance. That's why this whole paragraph will be very much important, and I will mark this whole paragraph in my and add in my notes like Mapilla outbreak were endemic in Malabar. Vasudev Balwant Phalke, an educated clerk resident Ramosi peasant force about 15 Maharashtra during these are things all are important. 15th point. Here you can see the Kuka revolt in Punjab was led by Baba Ram Singh and had elements of the Messianic movement. Kuka revolt. As I can remember, this line was already asked in the WECS. Okay, prelims. You can check the question paper. That about the question was actually the Kuka revolt from which state? It was actually Punjab. Okay, that's why I'm saying that these lines can be very, very important. It was crushed when 49 of the rebels were blown by the cannon. That is Highland Revenue Assessment. Okay, so these can be very much important. Question can be again asked about Kuka revolt. Who was leading? Baba Ram Singh. Okay, so this is 16th. There was a certain shift of the message. These lines are not so much important. Thus, the Indigo Revolt, Pabna Agrarian League, and the social boycott movements of the Deconers left behind no successors. Okay. It was the result of excessive and unbearable oppressions, undue of unusual deprivation and exploitation, and a threat to present existing. This line can be used as an intro. I think rather than intro, this line can be used as an conclusion of the main answer writing, which will definitely give an jump to give the examination very good marks. So that's why I will add this point in my notes so that I can remember it and write it while main answer writing. This will be 17th point. Okay. Established position the peasants. He did not deny the state's right to collect a tax on land but objected when the level of taxation overstepped all traditional bounds. He did not object to the foreign planters becoming his zamindars but resisted the planters when he took away his freedom. Crops had to grow and refused to pay. Okay. Okay, these are not so much important as I read the lines already. Okay. A major weaknesses the 19th century peasant movements was the lack of an adequate understanding of colonialism. Yes, this line is very much important of colonial economic structure and the colonial state and of the social framework of the movement themselves. Yes, this kind of line can be not so much important, but the lack of an adequate understanding of colonialism. This point can be added answer writing about any peasant movement. So that's why I will add it as 18th point in my notes from this chapter. Such a fresh vision of society in the absence of such a new ideology, program, leadership, and strategy. Okay, so that's the end. Powerful struggle against the class demands and to create modern peasant organizations. Okay, anyway, I don't think so. This chapter is not so much important from UPSC point of view because yes, there are specific some questions can be asked from UPSC and PCS like the name regions, leaders, and reason and why failed or success like Indigo Revolt, it's succeed, not the Kuka Revolt. Kuka Revolt failed. So these points can be very much important if objective questions can be asked, I think. So in this way, I will definitely add uh, these points. I will add in my notes. Whomsoever watching these videos, they can also add these points in their notes as well. They can make their own notes. I will definitely study, go through the books first, go through the book. After fast reading, while second reading was these videos. Then this will be very much helpful for you because as I am also preparing for the civil service examination, I am also making my notes and I think this will be very much helpful for everyone whomsoever doing self-study and these will reduce their times. Anyway, that's all. I will make the another videos about the fourth chapter very soon. So that's all, everyone. If you found helpful in this video, just give a like and subscribe. Okay, have a good day.